19-year-old Matthew Carter had a dream debut for Nottinghamshire, the off-spinner claiming figures of 7 for 56, the best debut figures for a spinner since 1938, as his side moved well ahead of Somerset on the second day of the LV County Championship match in Taunton, a day when, remarkably, 20 wickets fell. Only 6 had fallen on the first day, but the same amount went in the morning session on day 2, starting with the loss of Luke Wood, who carved a wide ball from Tim Groenewold to Johan Myburg in the morning's 5th over. Notts, who began the day on 391 for 6, found themselves on 402 for 8 when the other overnight batsman, Ricky Vessels, drove Groenewold to Alphonso Thomas, who held on well at mid-off. Vessels had added only 4 runs to his overnight 59, and his dismissal allowed Ben Hilfenhaus, on his championship debut, to have a go. This shot went all the way. Carter's debut first-class innings ended without him scoring a run, and then Jake Ball lost his leg stump to Groenewold. Nottinghamshire all out quickly for 410, Thomas with figures of 5 for 73. It summed up events for Notts in recent times, a huge score in the offing, only for the loss of quick wickets at the end. They would have started the day with a total in excess of 500 in mind, and it looked as if they may have missed a trick when Marcus Trescothick and Tom Abel started the reply brightly with a stand of 24. But 2 more wickets were to fall in a rather hectic session. On 16, Trescothick edged an outswinger from Wood to Brendan Taylor, before the young left-armer also foxed Myburg with some movement through the air, which embarrassed a batsman who was out for a duck. That brought in James Hildreth, who, with this shot, became the first man to reach 1,000 runs in red ball cricket this summer. He and Abel took their side to 73 for 2 by lunch, and it looked like the visitors were going to have a long afternoon in the field, as both batsmen had few problems against the pace bowlers. This was to turn out to be a significant innings for Abel, as he was to carry his bat, but for now it was just about these two batting their team into a good position. They added 88 runs for the 3rd wicket, and it appeared as if it was back to normal for the batsmen at this ground. Carter had been given 4 overs before lunch and was now brought back on to have Hildreth caught behind for 41 with the 5th delivery of his new spell. It was the start of a remarkable debut for the brother of seamer Andy, but before he took over completely, Abel got to a fine 50 off 98 balls with this single off Hilfenhaus. It was an innings thus far containing 7 fours. Going along nicely on 132 for 3, Somerset then collapsed to Carter, who grabbed his 2nd wicket when Tom Cooper top-edged a sweep to Hilfenhaus to go for 8. Both Jim Allenby and Peter Trigo were then out for ducks. Allenby seemed to have been caught in several mines and was bowled, while Trigo went in the same way to a peach from Ball, a wicket which left the home team on 142 for 6. 1 run later and they were 7 down. Michael Bates' first knock for Somerset ending on a single as he was taken by Samit Patel at leg slip. Scenes like this with fielders around the bat for a spinner are rarely seen in Taunton. One of them, Taylor, caught Thomas, and now Carter, who only turned 19 last month, had a 5-for on debut. Nottinghamshire have struggled to find a frontline spinner for a long time, but they had one now. At the other end, Vessels turned to Patel, who was spanked down the ground by Abdurrahman for a 6. But when he tried something similar off Carter, the ball was sent skywards and into the hands of Ball. Rahman at least making 25 of a 30-run stand with Abel, who was now just a wicket away from carrying his bat through the innings. It was almost single-handedly down to the opener that at least Somerset managed a batting bonus point, Abel ending on 76 of his size 200, Carter ending with the fantastic figures of 16 overs, 7 for 56 when he also removed Groenewold. With a lead of 210, Vessels could have been forced to follow on at tea on the 2nd day, but with so much time left he batted again, only for Taylor to give Groenewold his 4th wicket of the day, the first innings Centurion out for 7 this time. Stephen Mullaney again made a start to an innings without finishing off the job he started at the top of the order. He lost Greg Smith to Allenby for 12 before taking the total up to 53 with Michael Lum, who fell for 6 when he was trapped in front by Allenby, the wickets continuing to tumble, something nobody would have expected given the events of the first day here. So Vessels had to come back to the crease for his 2nd innings of the day, and he looked as good as anyone had done. That went for 6. while he also struck a couple of fours, although Mullaney did become the 20th and last man to go 10 minutes before the close for 34. So what on earth will happen next? Nottinghamshire ended the day on 89 for 4, hardly what they would have wanted when they decided to bat again, but they are 299 runs ahead and with enough talent to come to try to bat their hosts out of this game completely on day 3.